His legacy should be the deaths of the children of Gaza. That should be a permanent stain on his legacy.
Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel.
There are almost no figures in the modern history of American politics who have been stauncher supporters of Israel when it's at its worst, when it's committing its worst crimes, than Joe Biden.
Jeremy Scahill is a senior correspondent for and one of the founders of The Intercept. He recently wrote about US President Joe Biden's historic ties to Israel and why it's no surprise that he's been defending Israel as it's massacred over 11,500 Palestinians since October 7th.
Israel launches this scorched earth campaign. 1 in 200 Gazans have been killed. More than 4,000 children have been killed. It seems as though there is no action that Israel could take that would be too extreme for Joe Biden.
That's been the case since Biden first joined the US Senate in 1973, just a few months before the Fourth Arab-Israeli War. That year, Senator Biden met with Israel's then Prime Minister Golda Meir, a story he's shared often.
She sat there, chain smoking, and reading letters from the front. She could tell I was visibly moved by this.
Joe Biden said that was a very consequential meeting for him. And when you review Joe Biden's career, when Israel is being accused of killing civilians, when Israel is committing war crimes, Joe Biden sort of serves as the American defender of Israel's conduct.
In 1982, Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin visited the US to meet with senators after Israel had invaded Lebanon and started a campaign that killed thousands of civilians.
And many of the senators in that meeting are grilling Menachem Begin about the rising civilian death toll in Lebanon. But according to Menachem Begin, this young senator rises up and actually says that it's acceptable to kill women and children, and that if his country was facing the threats like Israel is from Lebanon, that he would do this also. And Menachem Begin, you should understand, himself is a notorious war criminal.
Begin had led the Irgun, a right-wing Zionist militia whose men had massacred more than 100 Palestinian civilians at Deir Yassin in 1948, part of a campaign of violent ethnic cleansing.
So Menachem Begin himself is shocked at the comments from this young senator, and that senator was Joe Biden.
There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make.
He loves to say he's Israel's best Catholic friend.
You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
You know, those words send a very specific message. I mean, look around the world right now. So many Jewish people are actually opposed to what Israel is doing. And those voices are excluded by these sort of folksy narratives that Joe Biden puts forward as what does it mean to support Israel.
The support for Israel continued when Biden was vice president. When Israel raided a humanitarian flotilla carrying aid to Gaza in 2010, killing 10 people, Biden defended Israel's actions on The Charlie Rose Show.
It's legitimate for Israel to say, I don't know what's on that ship. These guys are dropping 3,000 rockets on my people.
They never found any weapons on the ship. All of them were civilians killed, but Joe Biden is out there front and center defending Israel on American television.
And now as president, Biden has not only refused to call for a ceasefire, but his administration is actively arming Israel in its campaign against Gaza.
The United States has facilitated this entire operation. It's American weapons that have been used to do it. It's American money that's been used to do it. And most importantly, it's the political support from the highest office in the most powerful nation on earth that made this possible. No one should ever forget that.